Ooh, might make your head blow off.
Hey yo, it's a talk show host, Kana Lassiter. Join me for an episode of Relations, the most lit hour of adult conversation.
Hold up, you know you can't forget about me. It's 51 Spade, alpha male God, one half of Relations. You wanna hear the truth? Can you handle the truth? It's where it's at, baby. It's where it's at, baby.
What's good? Welcome to an all-new episode of Relations. My name is Kana Lassiter.
Say it with me now. Alpha male God, 51 Spade, a.k.a. the ninja you love to hate. I'm in the building.
You know how we do it. We get 2 topics in 1 hour, and here we go. The first topic is laws of attraction, and the second topic is gender wars, or vice versa. I don't know which one we want to start with first. We should actually start flipping a coin because some of these topics are so good and they deserve more than 30 minutes. Let's start with gender wars because I've been seeing a lot of that actually on social underneath some of these clips that we make. It's an all-out gender war about men's opinions versus the women's opinion. The funny thing for me is when I'm reading some of these comments back, I'm agreeing with most of the men. Ladies, y'all need to tighten the fuck up. But we'll talk about that on laws of attraction.
Uh-oh.
Y'all got to tighten up. For real, for real.
Yeah, but they don't really be agreeing with you.
That's what I'm saying. I agree with most of the stuff that the men are saying are either in, and they're not even disagreeing with me. They're just saying things that make sense or they're making a point. The women that are commenting aren't making a point. They're just talking out their ass, which is something that we get accused of all the time. Like, you're not answering the question based on the question. You're answering the question based off fucking emotion. And that's like the first thing you don't do. So while we're talking about gender wars, that's the first thing that I've seen happening is women are basing their opinion and based off of just the emotions, how something makes them feel, not off of what's black and white, what's fact and what's fucking fiction. Like, it's about like, or this one is classic. So we'll make a vague statement like men won't usually go for this type of woman. And then we'll get a chick on the thread that says, well, that's a lie because my homegirl got 3, 4, 5 kids and she married and happy and she 47 years old. That's one chick and that's not the norm.
That's an anomaly.
Right. So they'll take their friend who's 47 with 3 or 4 kids that met the man of her dreams and say anything is possible. When actually you should say that's a needle in a motherfucking haystack and tighten the fuck up. But again, we'll get that for the second topic. But gender wars, it was just a really easy topic to choose because it does seem like men and women are really at war. And I know the answer why. It's because we just don't understand each other. I will say that it seems like men are taking their time to get to know women. I will say that. That is happening in the world. But I do not believe that women are doing the same thing. I don't think women are trying to know a man. They think they already know based on their own personal experiences.
Clarify what you just said. You said you think men are
getting to know women, learning women.
That's impossible.
No, I don't think it's impossible. I think there are a lot of platforms out here nowadays that we either have women podcasters who are open with their sexuality, comfortable with their sexuality, and now we're in front of the camera and we're in front of these microphones and we're telling people what we want. Okay? And men are listening. And so this is a way that a man gets to know a woman. And also, men are taking really good care of themselves these days. I think men have stepped it up. There's a lot of eligible men out there that look great, fit, making a lot of money, doing their thing. And during this process of them elevating, they want their partners to be elevated. And that's causing them to really get to know women too. Date a little more, talk a little more, get to know who they're actually dealing with. And this is helping them out in the long run. Because like I said, as I'm reading these threads, a lot of the men are saying things that make sense. Not off of emotion. Just stating fact. And I can't do anything but agree. And then I look at a woman's comment and it's all based off of emotion. And sometimes even experience. And sometimes that's a double-edged sword because experience is great. But you can't take that experience into a new situation and base that new experience on an old experience. And I think that we're guilty of that. Even I have been guilty of that.
I mean, typically that's the route that it go. With the gender wars, I do see your point to a certain degree, just to a certain degree. But when you're talking about emotions, that would be the main question that I would ask women is like, anytime that I make a statement, it's typically an insult that comes behind whatever it is that they think that they're trying to prove a point behind. But I don't give a fuck about none of that shit because that doesn't prove points to me. Emotions is one of those things that I feel like a lot of women go off of how it should be. It should be this way, and they go against the laws of nature and just not using, I don't want to say the word common sense, but just because it's an anomaly for your friends. Like I've seen exactly what you're talking about. Well, I don't weigh this much, but I can still get a man. Now, I think they miss key points, especially when we talking. So I've realized that now I have to talk in layman's terms to a lot of viewers that actually watch the show and stuff like that. And I'm gonna break this down for those that's watching the show. Just because you can get a man to fuck you don't mean that you can get a man. And this is where women tend to get these things confused. I didn't say that you know, like for, I hate even saying the word, but for a high value man, and I'm talking about women who actually go for men that are like this. You show me where you seen a man with astronomical money and he has a 16 next to him. Typically don't happen. I ain't say it can't happen. It just typically don't happen. Now you can be a 16 and just get a man. The question is, can you get a ring that go with that? The question is, can you, will he have sex with you and you don't feel a certain way after that happened because he either stopped calling, don't see you like that no more. His case is complete. And this is where women get a lot of this shit confused, thinking about, you know, hey, my homegirl is an anomaly. She had 3 kids. She got married, this and that. I ain't saying that it don't. You also have to remember things about that I often talk to people about about it in particular is you have to know your enemies. See, when there's a gender war going on, a lot of women don't know, and I hate to say it, but they look at us as an enemy, but they don't know us, so that's how they get defeated. That's how they let narcissists into their circle. This is how they let this small percentage of men take advantage of them, and then they mad at every single man out here. I've read in these comment sections, like, especially for me, you know, we just need to leave black men alone because black men don't like black women. That is an absolute lie. We just don't like your motherfucking attitude. Like, this is the problem. It ain't got nothing. And the thing about it is, we wouldn't like the attitude if it was connected to a white woman, an Asian woman, a Puerto Rican woman. It wouldn't fucking matter. Majority of the attitudes that come from black women, this is the goddamn problem that we have an issue with. It's not that. And when you look at certain, if you look at certain athletes, entertainers, stuff like this, this is why they marrying outside of their race. Like, for real.
Yeah, I think, and that men, you asked me earlier, you know, why did I think men are getting to know women? Men know themselves, and so they know what they want. I think that was the more correct answer. Men know exactly what they want, but I think that's because more men that they might look up to, like, okay, you got a clean-cut gentleman, professional, he appears to be high value, and it's okay for him to say, I don't want a plus-size girl. I don't want a woman with children. I kind of want to start fresh. I want someone young that can be molded. I want to have my own babies with her. Men are not afraid to say that anymore. I don't remember this conversation going on when I was younger. I don't remember being around a lot of men that had a problem.
We couldn't say it
with women that had kids. As a matter of fact, it was vice versa too. Remember that song? That's just my baby daddy. It was kind of cool. You know, you got a baby mama, you got a baby daddy. Everybody's just winging it. Now it's anti-baby mama, baby daddy. We don't want to date anybody with children. We don't want to do this. We don't want to do that. Men have really put themselves in a position to be okay with their pick. This is who I choose. And that's, I think, how they're getting to know women too, because now they know what they're looking for. So they can separate the runts of the litter from the pics of the litter. And they can do that pretty easily because now they're proud to say, you know what, I deserve a woman like this. And with them saying that, I almost think it just has overall put women on the defensive because women don't know how to take that. That's why this is why we're at war. We're at war over something that's crazy. You know what that is? The truth. How can we be at war with each other over the truth?
Because people don't want to hear the truth, especially women. Women often say, you want the men to talk to us. They often say, tell us what's on your mind. Long as it's some shit that we agree with about
or it doesn't
them.
hurt our feelings.
They want a one-way conversation. The one-way conversation is, take me as is. And especially when they're complaining about things that they want. It's like you want the man to accept the complaints that come from women, but the man cannot say what he want or complain back. So when I say the narratives of we don't want women a certain weight, I'm not talking about all men. And there's different status of men that will accept you and this and that. My suggestion would always be the grading system. Like, there's a grading system, a ranking system. And this is where people get this shit really, like, it befuddles me, but they really get it confused. Women act like they ain't out here getting graded or ranked. You know, and some of them can't grade themselves.
Okay, but even using that verbiage can be looked at as offensive. And so this is why this is happening.
But who says it's offensive?
And this is good.
Who says it's offensive?
This is good.
Who says it's offensive?
I'll tell you in a minute.
Go tell me now.
Because now, listen, I'm on your side about this, but understand that what happens, even sitting in this moment, I am beginning to feel, even though I'm on your side of the conversation, I can imagine how somebody on that side of the conversation feels. Because it feels very defensive, the way that you are saying things, the way you are delivering the message. The truth is offensive sometimes, not what you say, but how you say it. I think that's an age-old argument. But besides that, I think I said this last week. I think every woman in this room or every woman in my phone has had an auntie or a mother who has spoken life into them at some point. Mm-hmm. You're beautiful. Mm-hmm. You're smart. Mm-hmm. Don't look down, look up. Accept yourself and be happy with what you are. We've been told these messages for a very, very long time. So whenever you get in front of somebody who is blatantly saying you're too fat, you need to be more fit, you're too loud, you need to quiet down, you need to sit with your legs closed, you need to shut up and be agreeable. These are things that go against what our aunts and our mothers, this is why it's a gender war. It's complete gender. I don't care if you an auntie, a grandma, a girlfriend, a jittybug, whatever age group you are in, we are at war with the opposite sex. And I think that's because of the woman's handbook. And because I have to have a certain amount of confidence to sit in this chair and put myself out there for the world to listen to, look at me, and judge me. That takes a whole lot. And so living in the world in general takes a lot of confidence. Getting dressed and going out into work and doing whatever you do in the workforce takes a certain amount of confidence because you're around other people. And so whatever your insecurity is, it doesn't get unpacked because you're going to work. You take it to work with you. You take it out in the world with you. And so you go out of the house, I think, with a wall up. And so it's very hard to, when someone is telling you that you're too fat, that one of your bricks don't fall off the wall. Mm-hmm. It's very hard to be able to keep that brick up there. Mm-hmm. When someone is telling you that you're fat, every insult, and it's not an insult, so to speak, it's an insult to the person that's being offended. Mm-hmm. Every time you insult them or tell them your truth, it's like a punch in the face or a piece of the brick on the wall falling to the fucking floor. And it's devastating when all you've tried to do in these moments is build yourself up. Now, obviously, I'm talking about somebody that might have some self-esteem issues, but listen, I'm confident, and I still have some self-esteem issues. So everybody has these issues, and even me sitting in this moment, you talking and delivering these things to me about women in general makes me feel defensive as a woman. I'm in defense mode. I'm looking for a way to rebuttal you and come at you and say, but But, now my buts are going back to other women, blaming other women, of course, but I'm still trying to muster up the butt, even in this moment when I know you're right. And that's what's happening. That's why we're having a gender war. And it's all based on how what you're saying makes me feel. So does everybody understand how emotion is tied into us? Instead of looking at the fact that every man deserves a fit woman, I'm going to run that back. Every good man deserves a fit woman. Everybody take the man that they've been looking up to for the last, 8 years? President Obama. Does anybody want to see Obama with somebody ghetto? No. Don't we think Obama deserves his Michelle? Yes. Because we all have a great opinion about that man. So if you're with somebody that you have a great opinion, oh my God, I love him so much. He's so cute. He's so intelligent. He's such a king. But then you eating donuts. You ain't got your ass on no treadmill. So all that shit you saying, you selling him motherfucking wolf tickets. Because if you thought he was all that, your ass would be at the gym.
You make a great point. Slightly. Make a great point slightly. I have to tackle this little by little. So we'll go back to what you were saying as far as like how it makes you feel. You know, for a long time, I'll say men have always been told what a man's supposed to do. A man is supposed to, it started off early with gentleman-like behavior. You know, you throw your coat on the ground, you open doors for women, you open the car door for the women, you do these type of things. And men have always been accused, like, if you don't do that, you're not a man. You understand what I'm saying? Even the fact of, if you was to hit a woman, you ain't a man. And we take that, we take that truth, that hardcore truth is what you say. And we swallow that shit. See, the issue is this, though. Just because your mama, your sister, or your aunt told you, be all you can be, like the Army, you were beautiful, that's fine. Not saying anything wrong with that. But it's impossible for me to believe that you don't know where you rank. See, this is where delusion come into play. Because this is the goddamn problem. It's always gonna boil down to fact. Now, we ain't talking about a hypothetical of how it is. Like, I watched a podcast, and this woman was like, she talking to the host. This woman was like, well, I ain't never been in single digits. The host said, you was in single digits. You probably don't remember you was in single digits. Now, that might not be true for everyone. And I understand that. Some people are a little bit husky. Now, just because
Did you say husky?
Yes. You a little bit husky. But that does not mean
Husky?
that, what'd you say? Were you husky? Was it difficult to push you on slides? When you was in the wagon, what did it take, like 2 people to pull that wagon? If that was the case, you was husky. Okay? Now, and I'm not saying that to be funny. I'm really not.
You can't call a woman husky, though, and expect for her feelings not to be hurt.
Okay.
You can't.
Okay. But guess what?
I'm a special individual. I can take it.
Got you. And I understand that. But this is the thing right here. Okay? When I got a son, okay? If my son wanted to play baseball, and he at the mound swinging, can't ever hit the ball, can't even bunt the motherfucker, it's at some point in time I gotta be like, son,
sport ain't for you.
This shit just ain't for you. You understand what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I'm not finna sell him no wolf tickets. I can get him into a sport. Like, we can find something else that you into. You understand what I'm saying? And by me saying that the woman is husky or she can't remember being in double digits, I'm not saying it's over for you. You have to find your match. You get what I'm saying? Your match of what you're looking for. The discrepancy is this. People are misconstruing what I'm saying. Some women that are in double digits, what I'm saying is when you're striving for a high classification of a man, You see what I'm saying? That might not work for you. But also, where you classing, like where you're rating yourself. Like a lot of women have a problem like rating themselves. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, you line 20 women up, all of them 8s, all of them 9s. Like this shit is like goddamn crazy. Like I understand self-esteem, I really do. But we've seen like men and women, both of us have seen 8s, 9s, and 10s. We also know where they are 8, 9s, and 10s in your mind. I'm talking to my lady one day. I said, baby, where do you rank yourself up? She said, well, I rank myself like an 8, 9. I said, you see yourself up there with Janet Jackson and Beyonce? And she thought about it. And she lowered that ranking. Because to her, in her mind, nothing wrong with that. Self-esteem had it at an 8 and 9. But put with reality fact, she was like, you know what? I don't rank up there with them. And this is the problem.
And that's what women aren't good at. Women
well, we know
are
this.
not good at saying out loud what they lack in.
But what is wrong with being average? What is wrong with being average? This is the thing that...
You know, this is what's wrong with... There's nothing wrong with being average, but you putting on a show or expecting something like you're not average is the problem. There's nothing wrong with being average. If you're an average person, there's nothing wrong with that.
But apparently...
Everybody can't be Beyonce.
But we're not asking everybody to be Beyonce. And that's the thing that a lot of people are getting confused. We're not asking everybody to be Beyonce. Like, is a singer... Even Beyonce say, hey, I'm a fat kid. I've seen interviews and she done said it.
She's always said that she's a donut away from being bad.
But she puts in the work to be the best her. And this is what I suggest to the women. If you know that you can't get in double digit and you done gave it the all-American try, not the college try.
You mean get out of double digits.
Get out of double digits. And you done gave it the all-American try, not a college try. All-American try. I mean, you done did everything. And when I say everything to the double-digit women, I'm talking about, are you watching your eating? Are you not smoking cigarettes? Are you not drinking? Are you not doing some of the things that offset, like you're working out?
That derail you, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, that brought me back to Arsenio Hall. I heard that. But we're not asking you to be this size if you can't get to this size. There has to also be a fluctuation of where we want you to be. Right. But a lot of times, it's like the woman is asking you just accept me as I am. Just accept me as I am. Hold on. And we can accept you as you are. But there is nothing wrong with us saying what we want.
And there's definitely nothing wrong for a woman taking accountability, okay? There has to be some accountability. All right. But I want the men to take accountability too. This is where my job as someone in opposition of you sitting here comes into play. Okay. We all know that this is a systematic issue. A couple of years ago, and it's probably still true today, that the statistics are done and there are very few 2-parent households. Most kids are raised by a single woman. She's working. She's keeping the house clean. She's doing the girls' hair. She's getting the boys dropped off at football practice. She's running around with her fucking head cut off. And at the end of the day, when she finds her person, he's asking her to do something else. Now, should he be able to? Absolutely. If she's not the best version of herself, then her spouse should absolutely call her out on it. This is where the attitude comes in. She's fucking tired. Her feet hurt. Her back hurt. Her nails and hair haven't been done. And now you're telling her she's unfit and asking her to do one more thing.
And I can. Because you know why?
I get you can. Let me finish. Let me finish. I said first, it's okay for you to say that. But it's not okay for you to say that without knowing the challenges that she's already dealing with. She's tired. She's overworked. And this is a systematic issue. This could be said about your mom, your mom's mom, your mom's mom. This has been going on for a long time, that women are raising and taking care of the house, sometimes making the most money. They're doing 1,000 things. And then you got to have the nerve to have a motherfucking opinion. And I know y'all are like, oh, no, she didn't. I'm saying this playing devil's advocate. It's not the way I feel, But it's the way that I feel when I know there are women out there who are doing shit by themselves. Mm-hmm. So, yes, I'm saying that your man should be able to tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, you've gained a little bit of weight. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Gotcha.
Because I want the truth. But I also want the man to take accountability for what he has put on her plate. Mm-hmm. It's a whole fucking lot because the man has been absent. I'm not talking about individuals. The man, meaning overall in this world, statistically, men have dropped the ball. Statistically, there are a lot of great men now.
Don't agree with you.
But this isn't the conversation that we've been having a very long time.
Well, it's a gender war, and we gonna have that conversation, and I don't agree with that shit.
It's true.
Like none of that shit that you talking. That also coming from a place of feeling. You know, don't get mad. And this is the thing with women. Don't get fucking mad at the choices that you made because it ain't got nothing to do with the man. It got to do about the choices you made. You picked the fucked up man that got you in a fucked up scenario. You chose that shit. The person that got you feeling with them guilt, insults, shame, and the need to be right, you chose that shit. Anytime a man that y'all see that is good, this is a man that y'all don't want. Y'all don't want the man that's gonna treat you right. He's weak. You don't want the man with a 6-inch penis. That's too small. You don't want the man that ain't got no clout with him. He not the basketball star. He ain't the football star. You don't want that man. That's your fault. Now, when we talking about what this shit just put on y'all back. What shit been put on y'all back?
Are you kidding me?
Hold
on. Single moms.
I let you talk. Zip it. The man, and in particular the black man, suffers the exact same shit. I'm not going to equate one way or the other, but you are not finna take nothing off my plate. Because last time I checked, ain't nobody out here hunting and killing your ass. They out here hunting and killing my ass. And then when you're talking about, when you're talking about, like, the men have dropped the ball, okay?
Yeah.
It's a small percentage of men that you talking about. Just because women are not cultured enough to get away from either the neighborhood that they in, broaden their horizon, and just wait. And since y'all so mouthy for asking for things that y'all want, I never hear a woman be mouthy about, before I have a baby from a man, let me get married. I always hear that shit after the fucking fact. Like, oh, it's an accident. It happened. And then the man has to accept every ounce of bullshit that come with it. The child ain't ours, it's yours. You want to move somewhere? Me and my child are going somewhere. And then you sit there and look at the men and be like, well, the man ain't doing shit. He ain't ever did nothing. He ain't sending no money. He ain't doing a motherfucking thing. And then y'all have a meeting of a bunch of angry women sitting around complaining because all y'all made fucked up choices and trying to make that shit make sense. It don't make sense to nobody. It only makes sense to y'all because we're talking about a gender war that goes down. Y'all accepting ideas and facts from women, from your own personal shit, and also from your mamas and aunties like they can't do no wrong. I have a mama, but my mama is not perfect in my eye. But to women, the handbook that y'all mama gave you and your grandma gave you and everybody else, everything in that shit is right.
You know it's not right, but it's hard to argue when the person telling you is by themselves. The person that's teaching you this, there's no one there to back her up. Ain't nobody there to co-sign. That's all you fucking got.
Gotcha.
So it's hard to debate or what, Mom, I really don't agree with that. But you ask, don't agree because I've been feeding you for the last 13 years. Your daddy ain't been here. How the fuck do you rebuttal that?
Well, but hear both sides of the story. Because in a courtroom, there is not only one side of the story being told. This is where delusion come into play. Because women want one side version and think that's okay. I don't understand that. Your daddy ain't here, but you ain't heard your daddy's side of the version. You know what I'm saying? Like, I take personal offense to the shit because when I see men and women grow up that ain't had a daddy knocking on the daddy's door, talking about where you been for the 18 years, and then they start getting a fucking different version of what the dad have to tell them. Well, your mama just wouldn't let me do it. And I'm not saying that the man can't do more, but they don't go back to their mama like that. You told me that he didn't do this and didn't do that. Not that he didn't try. You believe every version of that shit that she give you. And then you okay with not getting, I'm sorry, baby, I lied. Y'all okay with that?
I don't think we're okay with it. It's heartbreaking to hear, but I don't know if we're okay with it more than what I just said. More than this is the same woman that has taken care of me 365 days a year. Mm-hmm. This is the woman that has wiped my tears when I cried. Mm-hmm. This is the woman who got my prom dress. This is the woman that gets my hair done for the prom. Your moms and your aunties do so much for you. Sometimes you feel like, even if you did have a difference of opinion or you later found out, well, that wasn't the right way, you just wouldn't say it. You would more honor that person. So we honor our aunties and we honor our mothers by not opposing them. We may have different lives to what they agree with later on when we grow up and realize, auntie wasn't too clear on this, but we still honor that because they're our aunties and because they foot the fucking bill. It's not like they're talking shit and not writing the check. They talking shit while they writing the check. Gotcha.
For a fucked up choice that they made. And it's always gonna boil down that to me, because guess what? The women who pick the men that's in them 2-parent household, they ain't screaming that shit because they took their time to pick the right mate for them. Not be hot in the ass and just was dick thirsty and then sit there and pick some man and then this man didn't even want to marry you. Because women out here, quote unquote, screaming, that ain't me. I can get a man anytime I want. You can get dick anytime you want. You can't get no man. You know what I'm saying? At least to keep you.
That is a whole other subject, though.
It's the same subject.
I get it, but I want that subject to have its own.
Well, we can just continue it on, but I'm not gonna. Sure. But I'm not finna skirt around it.
The difference between having someone fuck you and have someone wife you is totally different.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Because
it is different. You just said it.
Hold on. But it's not when you're talking about from your narrative that you talk about. So when you're talking, what narrative
am I talking about?
When you say, but when no. I'm saying why it cannot be a difference of what I'm saying, because when you spoke about having women raising their kids by themselves, that's why this comes into play. Mm-hmm. As far as saying, like, because they couldn't choose the right man, you understand? So by them not finding the man that can marry them, that would have put them in a 2-household place. And then their kids or their mom, the daughters or son wouldn't be raised by just that mama.
Right, but what I was saying was I was agreeing that there needs to be a separate show talking about fucking versus getting a man. That's all I was saying.
I got it.
That topic deserves its own subject.
And I agree with you. I just said I didn't want to curve that off just because we wanted to do a different show about it. So that's all I was saying.
All right, so we're going to get into the second topic of the night, and it's called Law of Attraction, and one of the most important topics for me. It's so important to me because I realize tenfold everything in life comes to you based on what you put out. And if you're putting out, I'm not confident, I'm lonely, I'm weak, I'm sad, I'm horny, that's the energy you're putting out, then that's what the motherfucker on the other side of the lens is putting in his pocket. Oops, she's weak, I can do something with that. She's lonely, I can do something with that. You just basically sabotaged yourself by your own fucking energy.
So I got a question.
You just sabotaged yourself.
I got a question. It's funny that you say that, because I watched this not too long ago. So, what do you say to the women that's on social media that put this type of energy out there, whether it's sex, being sad, being lonely, any of those things? Because I understand that you're talking on this platform right here. But I noticed that those conversations are not being had with, let's say, for instance, like if you see your friend, she's lonely, but now she's on social media saying, I'm sad, I'm lonely. Do you call her and be like, girl, do you know how you look right now?
No.
Why not? That's the question.
Because as a woman, feelings for us come first. And I just said that was a downfall in the first segment. I did at least admit that.
I got you.
We operate off feelings. So your first thing is, and when you see your friend in pain, is you feel her pain. Now, after that, you feel, Well, she still shouldn't have done that because now the people that I don't want to prey on her, she just invited more of the men to prey on her. That's what she did. And I fight to not have you preyed on. I don't want my friends preyed on. So if you're showing a weakness, then someone's gonna prey on you. So I kind of get in my feelings about stuff like that after, you understand? Like after the fact.
I get it.
And so after you're out of that moment, the grease ain't hot no more. So if I'm gonna do something like that, I wanna drop it. I wanna drop the shit in the grease while it's hot because that's when it can be most effective. And if I didn't do that, I kind of let it wash over. I'm not saying that it's right, but I do.
You know, this is a real crazy topic for me, you know, and this is kind of even spilling back into the first conversation of like when you have people who look at other people on social media and they say absolutely nothing. Like to me, the whether the grease is hot or not, that shit out there in the universe. You get what I'm saying? Regardless. Mm-hmm. So I don't give a fuck when your friend dropped it. Your friend don't know that she doing something
that's harmful
to her. And then this is how we get these narratives of men ain't shit and women sitting there saying, well, I threw a thirst trap out here. Well, your thirst trap is not only being thrown out there for you, but also remember, it's the fucking internet. The internet is forever. You understand? So some of you women out here who got kids, you know what I'm saying? You don't take this type of shit in consideration. Is that them same motherfuckers that's on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and this and that, your kids can see that shit too. And what about your kid who runs across you trying to be sexy on fucking social media, and then they friends like, I seen your mama, boy.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? On social media. You know what I'm saying? What kind of head she give? You don't think about that when your son and that motherfucker having a fight. So when he get that call from school, you know what I'm saying? You like, why he fighting? And he say, cause your motherfucking ass was on social media. That would be me. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like I have the all justice right to talk like an adult since you acting like a kid. You know what I'm saying? Your motherfucking ass was on social media and my friends hurling insults at my ass. And this is why when I'm asking you why you don't say that shit, because you not the only person that see it. You're not.
I understand that. I do get it. I think my biggest example or lessons for my friends is when they get what it is that they asked for. When they on my line and they're saying, I met this guy and it didn't work out, that is the time that I can remind him, well, how did you get him? Well, I met him online.
Yeah, they really listen to that.
Or whatever. Yeah, I think they do.
No.
I think they do.
Nah.
I think they do.
No.
I think some women are made to
The hard way?
to learn their lessons hard.
Yeah.
You know, I am often like that. No one can come into my life and say, oh, you shouldn't talk to her or talk to him. He's a bad person. I'm one of those people that he's got to be bad to me. I'm not going off someone else's experience. Mm-hmm. Oh, he's a thief. He's a thief. He's a thief. Well, he ain't never stole from me, so I don't know what you're talking about. I think we've said this previously before on the show.
You have.
It needs to be done for me to make that judgment.
But that's not the same thing, though, because we're talking about laws of attraction. So we're talking about what someone actually put out, not someone saying, hey, you shouldn't date that person, and you're talking about the idea of that. I'm talking about when a woman sit there and say, I don't even know why people keep coming at me talking about showing me dick pics. I get them in my DMs or they come at me a certain way.
There's no dick pics in my DM.
And then I flip probably because you on that motherfucker conservative.
Right.
But I'm talking about the ones that sitting there on social media and then they doing all this shit that consists of sex. And then this is what you attract
but
back.
Then you should be expecting that back.
But they don't.
They do. They're being coy. Someone who puts sexual content on social media knows 100% what the fuck they doing. And if they come to you and say, well, I don't know why this keeps happening. I don't know why I keep getting dick pics. They want attention and they just want to have a conversation with you. There's no way they don't know showing their boobs on social media isn't going to get them a dick pic. It's just no way. I cannot be convinced that a person who puts out sex doesn't expect sex back.
I watched Brittney Renner sit on a podcast and sit here and say, why do you consider me a hoe? She said that shit to 3 men sitting in the room and said, I don't understand that. And when the guy said, well, when I scroll on your page and I see a bunch of bikini shots and your boobs out and ass and stuff like that, I see whole shit. And she said, looked at him with a straight ass face and said, I feel sorry for you that you feel that way. And you telling me right now that they think that. They don't think that. They think because they have free will to do whatever they want to do that you should look at me as a woman, not what I put on my fucking page, and respect me as a woman. That's what they think.
What I hear from women is, I do it because it makes me feel good. That's what I've heard. I'm not saying that I agree or disagree, but most of the people that I've talked about why you're doing this type of content, man, I do it for me. There are women out there who get married early. There are women out there who have babies early that never experienced the club life. There are people who have lives, their lives change early, and then they miss out on a lot of this stuff.
Gotcha.
And so they may genuinely feel like I'm doing it because I want the attention. I want it on me. And I hope more women can just start telling the truth. And that's also very, very sexy, and also is a positive law of attraction. If you are putting out there that you want sex, when sex comes your way, own it. Get the dick. You asked for it.
Gotcha.
Don't say, well, damn, is that all I am? Block. I don't want to talk to you. It's confusing to the guy because you're showing me your ass, but you don't want me to say what's up.
But that's the main thing that I'm talking about, though. Confusing what you're putting out. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't have an issue with what you put out. My issue is about you complaining about what you're receiving back because of what you're putting out. Mm-hmm. You know, she said with a straight face that I should be able to dress in this, and you shouldn't look at me like I'm a hoe. Nah. You can feel that way. I ain't, but again, we're talking about.
Because I can wear a short dress. It doesn't mean I'm out looking for dick.
Again, I got you. You know what I'm saying? And theoretically, that is partially right.
Yeah.
It's partially right, but not all the way right, and not common sense right. Because that's just like me dressing up in a cop uniform and a motherfucking lady getting robbed, and someone run over to me and be like, "Help me, help!" And I'm in a cop uniform. Well, just because I'm dressed like this does not mean that I'm a cop. The problem with it is, and if a cop come, he gonna be like, he gonna take me to jail because I'm dressed
as a cop.
As a cop. It's called impersonating. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? So you still have to use common sense when you're doing some of these things. And it is also a such thing as sexy, tasteful, slutty, classless, and all these things. And this is another thing that women are also getting confused too. It's like, there's a difference between those for a reason. You can be sexy and not have your titties out. Not have your areola about to pop all out your shit. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, there is a tasteful way to be sexy. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Now, when you start pushing the limits, it's the guys that's receiving that, seeing you push the limits, that makes them push limits. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? And because there's a no hold bar system and you selling sex, you know what I'm saying? That's what you'll receive back. Mm-hmm. So if that's what you want that dick, go suck that dick. Mm-hmm. I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no problem with that. Mm-hmm. Just don't complain about it. That's what I'm saying. Sitting there saying that you are, I don't understand why I'm single. I don't understand why I can't get no man. I don't understand these things. What they're mainly happening because you're not putting out that you want a relationship. You're putting out that you want sex. Yep. You're not putting out there that you want a man. You putting out there that you give good fellatio.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, if I asked a woman what she wants, she's going to say God-fearing. Well, the God-fearing man is not online looking at you naked.
There you go.
I want a man that has a high-paying job. I want him to make what I make. Well, if he's making what you make and he grinding like you grinding, when he has time to be on the internet looking at you.
There you go.
So at the end of the day, why are you making the video?
Exactly.
Because the guy that you're trying to get is not there. He's not there.
And then
not there.
And then you're saying, I don't understand why I'm single. You know what I'm saying? And you can even do it in reverse a lot of times, because this is the thing for women, and this is just a little bit of game. There are a lot of stalkers on social media. You don't believe that? Watch you. on Netflix.
Or just the girl that just got killed off of fucking, are you kidding me? That was a horrible example. You should have used the bitch that got killed off of OnlyFans.
I mean, it all intertwines into one.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying for people to watch, not news shit. I'm saying for people to watch. You can see how people can insert their life based upon how you act and how you react to shit. And people think that everything on movies ain't real. They are real. They come from somewhere. They come from somewhere. And a lot of times, even when you putting out that you sad or you lonely, you showing a vulnerable side. And most men that's smart, that even know women, know that that's the perfect time to strike a woman.
Oh,
it's
yes.
when they vulnerable. And then you put that shit on social media, and the right man knows how to attack. You know what I'm saying?
You're beautiful. Don't cry.
He won't attack from an angle that you thinking, and next thing you know, you got dick in your mouth. And you just didn't see it coming. Because even when you in that vulnerable state, he don't have to say, you know, do you want to be in a relationship? Are you looking for a man? He don't have to do it. He's playing off of everything you did just for your feelings to feel better, even if it's momentarily. Not long term, just momentarily.
And that's why law of attraction is so important. If you want someone high powered, you need to be high powered.
Exactly.
And that's in every aspect of your life. When he look on social media, he need to see a high powered woman. If you want a handsome man, then you need to be fit. You need to be beautiful. So every time you on social media or out in public, you need to be fit and you need to be beautiful. You want to mean that man that's God-fearing? So every time you in public or you posting shit online, need to be about God-fearing shit. Law of attraction. Put out what you want back. Otherwise, you're fucking yourself. It's called self-sabotage. Self-fucking-sabotage is the worst kind of sabotage.
And also, I want to talk about at least this topic too. Also with laws of attraction can also apply to men. And in particular, what I've been saying lately is a lot of beta men. Not saying anything wrong with beta men, but you have beta men who go against the laws of nature of their own kind. They see someone like me make comments, and they'll be like, no, all men don't really want that. Just because you scared of your mama, just because women have raised you like that does not give you the right to betray what men stand for, because this is actually what's going on. I get sick and tired of seeing beta males that trying to come to the aid of women that don't want you. Like, they wouldn't date you, they wouldn't fuck you, you sitting there playing cheerleader for their ass, and they don't want your ass. Stop it. It's really crazy to me. And this ain't for all beta males. I'm cool with beta males. I'm talking about this particular batch that does these type of things. I just had to get out.
Well, I think they're using that for fishing tactics. That's their only way to get past the alpha male, is to give somebody a compliment that they did not ask for.
That's cool.
And that they did not want. And beta men, y'all are awful. I don't give a damn if you don't like me, because I don't like you. I don't want no soft ass motherfucker.
See what I'm saying?
It's too soft. And that's okay. My father was a stone cold Marine. He was hard, and he was the leader in our house. And so I'm looking for somebody, or I have somebody who can lead, you know. But guess what? That's real funny, because I'm a boss in my life. I talk stern. Everything about me is boss-like. And I put out that energy very naturally, and I got that back. So that is proof that there is a such thing as law of attraction. Just me sitting here and saying that I have an alpha male, what else was I gonna get? There's no way I could ever attract a beta male, ever. I've heard it on the damn, she's loud. Look at her, she's so aggressive. First of all, you don't know me. It's not how I'm on a debate show, so I'm supposed to be aggressive. That's my position on the show. But as that person who is naturally an aggressive speaker, a leader, a boss, I got myself a boss. I didn't get a beta because I speak well or speak aggressively. I got what the fuck I put out. So there's proof that there is a law of attraction. You absolutely have to put out what it is that you're seeking. And if you can't do that, you're simply sabotaging yourself. And that's an hour show, self-sabotage. It is an hour show because it takes a real mature person to look in the mirror and say, you know what? I've been doing this to myself the entire time. I can say that because I was doing it to myself. I've sabotaged myself. I've been someone who talked about having petty cash in her top drawer. Well, you know, I keep petty. At one time I had this job. I was making the most money I've ever made in my life. And I would often say that. I would often perpetrate that. I went and got a nice Cadillac. I got about, I don't know, kept about $7-8 grand in my top drawer for petty cash. And then let people see it. Oh, we're going somewhere? I'd pull out some hundreds out of my top drawer. Well, guess what I attracted? A whole bunch of users. I attracted a whole bunch of people with no money. None. Self-sabotage. Now, had I surrounded myself with people with money, like I have money, I need to hang around with people who also have money. Mm-hmm. Right? I wasn't doing that. I was using the money that I had as a way to get the attention, and I got that shit back in a bad fucking way.
And see, and that's the other thing, too, that I noticed, too, because a lot of times with women don't hang around, they equal a lot of times. You know, they are at a certain point, and then the friends that they have are at a lower point. And it happens for men, too, but often I'm talking about the scenarios where you're talking about with money. Mm-hmm. You know, the reason they feel a certain way a lot of times is because they want to be loyal to their friends, even though their friends would never be loyal to them. I'm not saying it's impossible, but you put money in the mix, you start to see true colors of people a lot of times. So that's why I said it'll be hard for you to see who they really are.
It's hard to see who people really are after you put so much out there anyway. You basically have put out what they need to be. She likes to go outside. So I need to make sure that when I ask her out, it's an outside date. He knows you like to be outside because he found out. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Men should do their research. I'm just being very vague to show you that what you might be putting out there as good information in your heart, well, I just want him to know this about me. I'm trying to be upfront. I want to be real. I want to be open. I want to share. That could be a trick because there are more people out there looking to survive than there are to love you. We're in a fucking pandemic. Before that, things were just bad job-wise, economics-wise. Things have not been on an uptick. And so I think that if there are 100 people in the room, 89 of them are just trying to figure the fuck out. And if they see a woman in the room that has all the answers, all 89 of them motherfuckers gonna try to come talk to you because you have it all. I need a place to stay and you got a house. I need some money and you got some. So I am after you and I will say and do whatever it is I need to say because I'm trying to survive. I don't think half the men that used me were bad people. I just think they were in survival mode. Why not? I was a duck.
Well, they wasn't in survival mode. You was a duck.
I think, wait a minute. It takes two. Because a real motherfucker can see a duck, and if he got his ducks in a row, guess what? He don't need one more.
Well, maybe you was too green if you got took.
But you know what? I met you, and you saw talent. You didn't see a paycheck.
Yeah, but
you took the talent and said, "Hey, we should do this together or that together."
Got you. But
you didn't go to damage. Everybody's not out to damage you.
I got you. But being in business and being in relationships is totally different. So, because even when we was talking about gender wars, those agendas are totally different. Me seeing someone for a business opportunity, not the personal side. Like, I don't give a damn about your personal life. You get what I'm saying? So I'm able to judge it by that. But now I'm talking about women who be in situations where they're in a relationship and the man sees duck. See, up front business, I'm going to say what it is I want, what I need you for. If you start to fail, you will be fired or you will be gone. In a relationship, those requirements are not there.
They are not.
So when you start to see that he's using me for money, do you get rid of him? Because there ain't no contract there for you just to get rid of him. You just found out he was a user, but now you 6 months in and now you weighing time versus, well, he just used me for a little bit of money. You see what I'm saying? That doesn't necessarily...
Or he could have just really needed it and maybe he's not using me. All those things.
It could be. Or he could be using you because you're paying for daycare and ain't never seen a child. See, that is not, to me, survival mode. If I see a duck and I see I can take him.
But the reason why you need to take them is because you're in survival mode. If you already got it, then you ain't in survival mode. And you can pass a girl over that you can easily use because you don't need that. That's just one more bitch to talk to.
That's not true, though.
I believe people who use I don't believe they're all users. I believe some of them are just trying to
didn't say all of them are all users, but I also do know that there are people, even people that are rich, that believe in just because I got money don't mean that I stop right there. I need more. So don't confuse the idea of just because I got it that I can't take more. Yeah, I got mine and I want yours too. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's the idea of that shit a lot of times. Like, just because different situations are different. So I'm not discrediting anything that you're saying. But keep in mind, like, if you don't really know the person, you don't know what he has or don't have. You see what I'm saying? Like, you don't know if he had it and saw you and was like, yeah, I got it, but I don't want to spend mine. I want to spend hers. And he will develop a plan to get you out of it, fleece you out of it. Because a lot of times when women get took, they be like, I don't understand why I got took. If you had the shit, then why'd you make me pay for it? Mm-hmm. I didn't want to use mine. I wanted to use yours. Mm-hmm. Some people have sucker written across their forehead. They just don't want to believe that they a sucker. That's it.
I didn't want to believe I was a sucker.
You don't.
But I can tell you this. The part that was used, it was also a true, genuine part of me. I'm a giver. Mm-hmm. It's who I am. Mm-hmm. So I could say either I got involved with a user, or I can say that I put something out that was genuine about me that I should to the wrong person.
You could.
Because there's no reason why you should be talking about how much money you make to somebody you just met. There's no reason why people should have known that I had $8,000 in my top drawer just for petty cash. Mm-hmm. No one should have known that.
Yeah. But that's why I said, given the information that you gave, this is how you can see that people become users and not in survival mode a lot of times. Because if you was to, let's just say, take that synopsis away and then you not showing the cash, then he asks you for the cash, but he don't know you got it. And then you say, well, can't really give it to you. You'll see the true colors and what he is. And then you can see if he was a user or standing for you, this and that. But not showing up front what you got. You showed your hand already. So now that person, 9 times out of 10, is a user. That's what I'm saying. You showed your hand.
That's true. I mean, a lot of us spend a lot of time showing our hands, and we do that all the time right here in relations, and we want to see yours. That's why we're asking you to tap in. Send in your questions, send in your stories, and we respond to them. Do we have a tap in this evening?
We surely do.
Fantastic.
We surely do. Because I wanted to pick your brain about this one right here, so I'm going to actually let you answer this question.
Okay.
So I got an email from a young man. He said he's been with his lady. I want to say, he said he's been with her like 2 years.
Okay.
And he proposed to her, and now everything seems like it's on track and it's going good. And now the marriage is like 6 months away, and he's like, he got cold feet now. And he's like, he hasn't spoke to his wife about it, or his wife to be. And he was saying to me, like, I'm not really sure if I want to be married. I feel like I'm only marrying her because she want to get married, not because I want to get married. Mm-hmm. And I feel like she deserve it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still in a mode of deciding should he go through with it. Mm-hmm. So what is your suggestion for that scenario?
I think it's normal. I don't think there's a man on this planet that has walked down the aisle without having cold feet first. Mm-hmm. I think, I had cold feet. I'm only engaged, and I think I ran into cold feet probably 6 to 8 weeks after, because I knew marriage meant a certain thing. It meant, hey, we don't do social media in our house. There are certain rules my guy has that once we're married, it's not a gray area. It is what it is. So I would say both parties are going to get cold feet. It's completely normal. What you have to focus on is what you said, what your person deserves. Mm-hmm. If your person deserves a marriage, then by you not marrying her, then I think that the only way to go is we're talking about now ending the relationship. Because if she stays with somebody who doesn't want to be married, she's derailing her whole thing is derailed now. Mm-hmm. She's with somebody, she's engaged, that's who she's with. He tells her, hey, I don't want to get married. So now she's faced with, wow, if I stay with you, I'm going to be unmarried. If we break up, there is a potential that I could find somebody that wants to step in that space. Okay. So I don't think it should be a conversation until you're ready to say, hey, I don't want to marry you, and I'm willing to just go ahead and call this relationship flatlined. Mm-hmm. Because you deserve, I would keep that same energy. You said she deserves to be married. Mm-hmm. You got to keep that energy in the conversation. Mm-hmm. You deserve to be married, and I don't want to marry you. Okay. And so you need to keep that energy and pack up and move on. Mm-hmm. And let her get what she deserves. You said it.
Okay. Guess what, y'all? This is the one time I 100% agree with Kane and that's a wrap.
It's a wrap. I finally got one. This is an episode of Relations. My name is Kane Lassiter. You can find me on IG and Twitter at Kane Lassiter.
Hey, you can find your boy on both platforms, IG and Twitter. If you're looking for the shirts, it's at IG on Alpha Male God Creations. I want to thank everybody for listening on TikTok. I want to thank everybody listening on Podbean. Hey, if y'all not subscribed to the YouTube channel, y'all missing out. We got 5 episodes. It's the Relations page. You know, if you don't know what it is, go on my social media and hit the link and it will pull you there. Like, subscribe, do all that jazz. And if you're looking for this special edition, that's www.alphamalegodcreations.com. And like I always say about this time,